Thank you.
This is the Game 8 press conference featuring the Oklahoma State Cowgirls, joined by head coach Kenny Gajewski and student athletes Kelly Maxwell, Julia Cottrell, and Cheyenne Factor. Questions for our student athletes first, please.
Scott Ryder, the Oklahoman. Julia, at what point did you find out you were going to be starting today? What were your initial thoughts, and then just talk about your overall performance today?
So I found out probably an hour or two before the game, and just being ready to go and keep practicing and working in pregame and stuff like that to keep myself in games that I'm not even in to get me ready for whenever my chance is.
Robert.
Yeah. How many times did you catch Lugo in your career? I mean, how well did you know her when you were coming to the plate?
Yeah, so I spent 2.5 years at Florida, so 2.5 years I caught Lugo. And, I credit her. She did a great job, kept us to 6 or 7 hits. I credit Florida on their great performance, but, probably 2.5 years.
Go ahead.
Julia, Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. I think if my math's correct, you saw 4 pitches, and the first 2 at-bats were both first pitch swinging.
Yeah.
What was behind the approach tonight?
I don't know. I was kind of ready to go up there and, get after it. And my first 2 pitches were good pitches to hit, so I just wanted to attack early.
Ben.
Kelly, Ben Hutchins with the Stillwater News Press. After those first 2 batters get on in the first inning, something just changed and you got the next 15 batters out. What was that? And what flipped?
Yeah, I think I was battling with the umpire strike zone a little bit. So just being able to make an adjustment and go after what I do.
Barry.
Yeah, Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman, 2 excellent pitching performances. Is this the best you've ever pitched in your life?
No.
Tell us more.
It's a big stage, so credit, all the teams were playing and stuff, but I just think my performance is probably as good as it's been in the past.
Julia, Marshall Scott with PFB. You've seen Morgan go against her former team. You've seen Miranda go against her former team. Did you rely on them for any talks before the game?
I did talk to Morgan a little bit. I think just remembering that at the end of the day, softball doesn't know who's playing, and keeping it simple was a really big help.
Oh, Billy Witz with the New York Times. Cheyenne, earlier a couple weeks ago, Oklahoma passed an anti-abortion law, and it looks like that will go into effect as it looks like Roe versus Wade is overturned. I'm just wondering if you think that women's athletes, college athletes, if that's in the next few months or so, next fall, if that issue is going to resonate with college athletes in the way that we've seen in the last couple of years, mental health and social injustice might.
I think I'll try to help Shy on this, and I don't know that this is the time and place to be talking about some of this stuff. These kids are here to play softball and represent their schools, and I'm just not sure that this is the place. I think one of the things we need to be talking about is student-athlete welfare. Okay, I think that's probably as big as anything that we need to be talking about here in this press conference. We just had a big game here and had a pitcher here that had to drug test after our first game and didn't get home until 3:15. I think that's one of the things that needs to be talked about here, not what you're trying to get these kids into here. So I think if we really want to do what's right and help keep growing our game, keep growing collegiate sports, student-athlete welfare would be at the top of this list.
Kenny, with all due respect, Cheyenne's a 3-time first-team academic all-conference player. It sounds like you're suggesting that, she can't play softball and have thoughts on these.
Yeah, I think you're wrong on that. I think your assumption is wrong on that.
All right. That's enough. Any other questions for our student athletes? Yeah. Here. Going back there.
Kelly, with throwing 126 pitches your first game and then not getting back till 3 a.m. and throwing a complete game, just what has this kind of been like for you, your World Series experience overall with all this workload?
Yeah, my rest has been a little short, just with what happened the other day. But I think I got some sleep and just recovered, and then focused today on going after the hitters. I did get a little tired at the end, but I was able to push through.
Robert?
Yeah, Cheyenne, take me through the first RBI in the game.
Yeah, I knew Coach D. I don't know. I tried to think along with him, and I figured that was coming. I get those calls a lot. So I had got a ball the first pitch of that at bat, and then he gave the call, so I was kind of waiting for it. That's what I wanted to do right there, so it was good. It worked out. Julia was going on the pitch, so.
Go ahead.
I know there was a lot of talk in the lead up to this week about when getting here became the expectation for you guys. I'm wondering now, one win away from reaching the World Series Finals, if the three of you, if we've got time for it, could tell me when each of you realized that was maybe a distinct possibility when you got to OSU.
Let's start with Kelly, please.
I think, the expectation was to be here, but I think the standard now is to be in that final game. So we're just doing everything we can to be there.
Julia?
Yeah, so I've got to watch this program for quite a while now, and the way they hold themselves, and they're never out of a ball game and continue to make that the standard every year. It was really fun to watch, and it's really fun to be a part of.
Cheyenne?
Yeah, I agree with them. I mean, we think we can beat anybody, and that's what we're here to do.
And do you remember maybe a few years back when you maybe realized that was in front of you guys?
Yeah, I mean, my freshman year we got here, and that was kind of like, that's what we were happy to do, Then last year, we thought we could win it last year, and we went 1-2, and then this year, that's what we expect to do.
Kelly, Julia, and Cheyenne, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Questions for Coach, please? You can go ahead if you want.
Kenny, what went into the decision to have Kelly go again twice in 2 days? I mean, you had the time to rest her and worked out well, but what was some of the thinking there?
Yeah, just, I knew after we won the first game that we'd go right back there. She's our ace. And, I just didn't think much about it, to be very honest. I mean, I felt like once the last pitch was thrown in the first game, that's right where we're going to go. And, with the day off, it made sense. If we didn't have that in the old format, I probably would have went to Morgan Day.
Robert?
Yeah, two things, decision to play Cottrell and how she came through, and then the small ball inning that Shai was talking about.
Yeah, the Julia thing, I mean, we're going up against the best running team in the country, stolen 130 bags. It's a lot. It's wild. I mean, it's a lot, and they can run and do some things. So Tuck, her arm is probably her weakest spot. So we just felt like it was a good move. And then, obviously the coaches look really good when she goes 3 for 3 and drives balls. So it's good. So that's on that. And then, is that it? I guess. Small ball. Oh, yeah. I mean, we do that a lot. I mean, it's not like it's something new. I mean, if you're watching our film, you know that we make that kind of stuff go, and it's really since we've really been playing our best softball. That's the way that we've been playing, and credit them because they limited us when we had runners on. We had a lot of runners on here tonight. We just couldn't get the knockout blow. So credit them on the way they pitch called and the way their pitchers executed, and Skylar made a nice play at short that beat Chelsea. It was just a well played game.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry Trammell, the Oklahoman. As a coach, do you take pride in winning sort of the old-fashioned way? 3 or 4 bunts, a pitcher that's basically not hittable?
I guess I do, because it's something that we talk about and we work on, and it's part of our daily work. And it's the way I was brought up. It's the way I was coached up, from my days in junior college was that game. We've kind of think we've all been enamored with the home run, and the home runs just don't get hit here. So you better find ways to make other things happen. So it did feel good, but we'll just take what we can do and make it happen. Marshall?
Marshall Scott with PFB. The last 2 times you've come here, you've won, lost. What does it feel like kind of taking that next step as a program?
Yeah, it feels good. And it wasn't easy. That last inning, the last couple innings were kind of touch and go there. Kelly was on fumes. We knew that. We had Morgan Day hot. I mean, we were probably one hitter reaching base away from going to Morgan Day. So it just feels good. I'm really happy for our fans. I'm really happy for our alumni, happy for our team. It's so many people put so much into this program. I mean, it's wild, and I'm just happy for all of them. They're all up there. They're all cheering. I mean, we have an absolute mess with tickets, trying to take care of everyone. We're on the secondary market trying to buy them. It's absurd what the prices are. It's great, but it's absurd. But we want to get everyone here and let everybody be a part of this. And I'm just grateful for our kids and the way that they played.
Hi, Coach. Ashley with Arizona PBS. Student welfare is as an important conversation as anything. I would actually like to know more about what went into Kelly's drug test. How long was that process, and was it random?
Yeah, it was a random test, which is totally fine. I mean, I have no problems. It's part of what these kids are used to. So I'm just going to tell you because I think it needs to be kind of heard. We had 5 kids. She was one of them. She gave a sample immediately. Okay, but if you can imagine, these kids sweat like crazy and they hydrate all game long. So her sample was diluted. Okay, I mean, explain that. I don't know. I mean, explain that stuff. I mean, it's wild. I don't know what we want them to be, but her sample is diluted. So now she has to sit here and try to pee again. And I don't know if you've ever had to drug test, but it's not fun. People are staring at you. You're doing that. You're trying to test. You're tired. It's 12 o'clock. She got back to the hotel at 3:15. Okay, if we have to play the next day, if this format hasn't changed and we have to play again, I mean, this is a tough deal. And I'm not mad at anyone. I just know that this process needs to probably be looked at to see if we maybe can do it in the mornings of game days or something, because the first games they had no problem, right? They are done, but we have a long game. We start a half an hour late, and then we go through this deal. It's rough. She was out of gas here tonight, and all of us know when you're out till 3. I mean, she got back at 3:15, which means now I got to shower and unwind and get in, to bed. It's a 4:30 proposition with no food. Okay, she didn't get to eat. So it's not like we don't have food, so I'm not trying to go down that road. I'm just saying, it's just, so everything is disrupted in the biggest stage that we have. So I think we just have to take a look at this, and if we don't talk about this kind of stuff here, it'll never get changed. And I know the committee is working their tails off. We got this format changed. It's awesome. I mean, it's rewarding the winning teams, and that's what we should do. Okay, so I'm all in. It's another part of this that we have to keep looking at. These girls are important. They are highly talented. They are wound tight. Their muscles are wound tight. They are very fit and strong. And when you disrupt rest on these type of kids at this point in a year, it really has a negative impact that can really last. And so I just want to make sure that her voice is heard, and she's not going to say a word. And so that's really all it's about. I am not complaining about, hey, we don't feed them, we don't do this stuff. I think that's a process that we need to address and take a hard look at. Yep.
All right, last one for Coach Joey.
Joey Helmer, 24/7 Sports. Yeah, Kenny, with all that said, Kelly became the 3rd player in your program tonight to eclipse the 300 strikeout threshold in this season. So just what has that meant, and what has she meant to your program? I know you have a lot of softball to play here, but what has she meant to your program?
She's just she's a special kid. The story is kind of wild. After Kelly's first year here, we had a serious talk about, hey, if we can't get some changes made, I'm not sure you're going to be good enough to pitch here. And that was a conversation that we had. And, she couldn't get anybody out in our fall. And, she ended up really just kind of working through the season part. John came in. We talked about a few little changes. I should take myself out of that. John did. She went home with her old pitching coach, Kyla Hollis. They worked on that stuff. She came back, and I was like, well, what happened? Like, it's unreal. It was that challenge. You know what I mean? We're in a society of the portal. And most kids, when they get that talk, they leave. Okay, so I think that tells you about our program, the honesty that we're going to talk through, the honesty that we're going to have. We're vulnerable. We all are. Okay, we're going to put ourselves out there. But there's nothing better than being able to be honest and a kid looking at you and saying, I got this, and going, okay, and then coming back and doing this is wild. So I just credit her family. Her family, I mean, these families are the biggest parts of this because it'd be easy to say, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, but they're not there each day. I mean, we saw what we saw. Talked to her. She made that change, and she's special. She's stoic. She's gonna be crazy successful in life, and it's just it's a cool story that we'll talk about for a long time.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations.
Thanks.